Hello folks, welcome back once again to another extremely amateur video review, which I do apologise for, but I'm just getting back into the swing of things. This is my second video of this nature in about 2 weeks now, is it? Something like that, I don't know, but anyway, last night I was going through Prime Video, I was going through Netflix and Prime Video and all the usual stuff we get nowadays, and I couldn't find something to watch that I hadn't watched before that piqued my interest. And then I came across The Bucket List by Rob Reiner from 2007. And obviously I'd heard about it before. I think it's quite a well-known film these days, but I'd never actually seen it before. And I was shocked because Jack Nicholson's one of my favourite actors, and I love Morgan Freeman as well. And the fact that they were teaming up together in sort of like a buddy type movie, I was like, well, I'll give it a watch and see what I think. And great film, absolutely fantastic film. It is a comedy, but it's much more of a drama in my opinion, and it's clear to see with the way it's been directed. So basic story is you've Jack Nicholson plays Albert Cole, a billionaire. You have Morgan Freeman playing oh god, what's his name? Carter Chambers. God, I knew it was two C's. I couldn't think of it. But and he's a mechanic, and the basic story is that both of them end up getting diagnosed with terminal cancer at the round about the same time, and they end up in the same hospital ward together, in a hospital that Albert Cole owns, Jack Nicholson owns, and basically, you know, you have like Jack Nicholson's your typical billionaire. You know, he's all snobbish, he likes things his own way, and he has a certain routine to do everything, whereas you have Morgan Freeman's character, he's more of an everyman and he just gets on with it. So that dynamic right from the very beginning it's quite endearing. So the crux of the story comes whenever they're both told to have 6 months to a year to live. And Morgan Freeman, you see him right at the start, he's jotting something down on a piece of paper, but he just gives up on it one night, scrumbles it up and throws it on the floor. And the next morning, Jack Nicholson wakes up, picks up the piece of paper and sees that Morgan Freeman was writing a bucket list. And a bucket list is basically, well, everyone knows what a bucket list is, but it's a list of things that you want to do before you kick the bucket, and that's where the name comes from. So Jack Nicholson gets the idea, you know, through his finances, they should go through this list and do all this stuff because they've got nothing left to lose anyway. And that's pretty much the story of it, and I have to say, it was a joy to watch. Well, a joy is not the right word. It's quite a serious movie, but it was. What do the critics say? It was a revelation. That sounds awfully whimsical, but that's the best way I can think to describe it because it really took me back. How good and how well I enjoyed this film. The dynamic between the two leads is just amazing. I mean, you've Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman. I mean, you know, two absolute giants of Hollywood. I mean, like how could that go wrong in reality? You know, so they were a joy to watch, I should say. If Sean Hayes, who I mostly know him from the Cat in the Hat movie. Yeah, but he's a comedian. I think he was in Will and Grace and all, or something like that. But he plays Jack Nicholson's assistant in this, and he plays a great part because Jack Nicholson, on purpose, he keeps calling him the wrong name, and the assistant doesn't rise to it because he respects him that much. And as a side character, he's brilliant, and it turns out to be, you know, he turns out to be more than a side character really towards the end of the film. But the as I said, the acting across the board is top notch. The story, I think, is amazing. It's heartbreaking and heartwarming in equal measure, and you know, it's a chance for both of these guys who are, let's face it, I think they were past their prime at this stage, but it was a way for both of these actors to show what they could do, and boy did they. I mean, to me, this is the best, well, not the best, but it's one of the best performances I've ever seen from Jack Nicholson. And Morgan Freeman as well. I mean, they're both, as I said, they complement each other so well, and you do really believe that they would be best friends. because that's what it ends up being. The end up, the start up is complete chalk and cheese, and obviously, Jack Nicholson's thinking, oh, what the hell am I sharing a room with this asshole for? Sure, he's nothing. And Morgan Freeman's thinking, oh, look at this rich asshole coming in here thinking he owns the place, and that's part of the charm of the film. But getting back to the performances, now I think it's fair to say, and most people would agree with this, Morgan Freeman nowadays is either seen as the Shawshank guy, and as a result of that, he's sort of typecast as like the narrator guy, which, well, it's wrong to typecast him, but you can see why, because his voice is like a velvet blanket. I think that's how you would describe it. But I think he's unfairly typecast now as just the narration guy. And Jack Nicholson, I would say most people would have the opinion that he plays himself in pretty much every film he's in. I mean, Batman, he plays the Joker, he's playing himself. The Shining, he's playing himself. Few Good Men, arguably he's playing himself. But you know what I mean. He's sort of seen as like a one-trick pony, and both of them I think absolutely shine in this film and really do put across their characters. Now, obviously, as I said, the film came out in 2007, and I would have been, I'd have been 11, so it was maybe, back when I was 11, well, back when anyone's 11, their film taste is questionable, to say the least. So it wouldn't have been on my radar anyway, but sure, what's 14 years anyway? Oh god, 14 years. It's a scary thought, but now that I've seen it, now that I'm older and I'm a bit more sophisticated, shall we say, I do think that it's going to be watched again. I think it was a joy. Again, I'm going back to that again. It was a joy to watch. And as I said, the film came out in 2007, and it was directed by Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner has made a couple of my favourite films of all time. He's made Misery, and he's made Stand By Me, two of which I have watched I don't know how many times, two of which mean a lot to me personally. And Rob Reiner has a certain way. He, the dramatic moments, he nails them on the head, and the lighter moments, the comedic moments, he sort of balances them out in this way that a lot of directors can't do it the way he does it. You know what I mean? But yeah, he does it, and I tell you, it's one of those. It's definitely one of those films that really makes you think, makes you assess where you are in life and what you want to do in life, and it's definitely. It's a lesson to make the most out of life and to do, it's true to say, it's what you don't do that you regret. And in my own life, I'm going to try and live by this more, because certainly watching this last night, it got to me in more ways than one. And it's just, yeah, it's going to stick in my mind for a long time to come. So yeah, that'll do it, guys. If you haven't seen the bucket list, please do give it a watch. I felt that I just had to do a review on it because it's that fresh in my mind and it's actually had quite an impact on me. And I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely worth a rewatch. But anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. Thanks everyone who watched my Halloween Kills review, my spoiler review. There's still a few things I have to iron out with that one. There's a few things I do want to say, and let's just say there might be some ideas in the pipeline that have been discussed with outside sources. So yeah, stay tuned for all the very latest and for the next review. I don't know what it'll be. It might be a random review. It might be a start of another series, because we all know I'm very good at doing series. There's a video that I do want to do. At the minute, like I've got Letterboxd, the app, and I'm trying to collate every film that I've ever seen in my lifetime. As I said, sorry, it's based on my memory and what I know to be true, and I think right now I'm up to about 900. So when that hits 1,000, I'm going to do a video or a series of videos, and I'm just going to go through every film I've ever seen, just as like a milestone for me, because if I'm lucky enough to get the old age, I've been nice to look back and think, God, I have wasted a shit ton of my life watching films. But anyway, guys, listen, thanks very much for watching again, and I will see you very soon. All right, take care.